CBR has a piece on how Star Wars fans' acceptance of Baby Yoda exposes hypocrisy in the fandom's rejection of Rey. I'm going to save you the trouble of reading this piece by skipping past all the posturing that piece contains and going straight to their argument. Rey got very good with the Force very quickly and for unexplained reasons, and fans don't like her and have in fact called her a Mary Sue. Baby Yoda got very good with the Force very quickly, seemingly for unexplained reasons, and fans generally like Baby Yoda and don't call it a Mary Sue. Therefore, the Mary Sue criticism must be a front for hypocrisy and sexism. Now, this argument is absurdly easy to pick apart. Being a Mary Sue isn't just about being good with the Force without training. As everyone knows by now, Mary Sue-ness is comprised of several different traits that all come together to create the Mary Sue-ness. On this channel, we detailed those traits via the Mary Sue Index, which consists of being overpowered, having an unexplained power level, being perfectly morally good, having no personality, being instantly liked by most of the established characters, feeling like a wish fulfillment fantasy, and never being embarrassed or failing important ways. Out of these traits, Rey gets a whopping 7 out of 7, while Luke gets 2 out of 7, and Anakin gets 1.5 out of 7. Almost everyone who's explored whether other characters are Mary Sues have plainly said that a character can possess 1 or 2 of these 7 traits without being a Mary Sue. In some of the movies, Anakin is somewhat overpowered, for example, but his power level isn't unexplained. He's not instantly liked by everyone. He certainly isn't all morally good, and so on. And therefore, Anakin is not a Mary Sue. But CBR's argument in this posturing social justice piece is just to pick one isolated checkbox out of the many checkboxes that need to be filled in order for a character to be a Mary Sue. And then, if the Baby Yoda can fill that one checkbox, then it must be a Mary Sue too. It's really quite the disingenuous, simulated argument, as if they're searching for the one semblance of a justification that could lend credence to their position. So obviously, the counter to this argument is that it's not telling the full story. It's willfully ignoring that it takes more than this one point to be a Mary Sue. For example, another thing that makes Rey a Mary Sue is that she doesn't need rescuing, neither from the thugs on Jakku or from her cell on Starkiller Base. But Baby Yoda obviously needs rescue and has needed rescuing several times thus far in the series. And even beyond this, it's ignoring that maybe Baby Yoda's species is just naturally powerful with the Force, kind of like how most Twi'leks have beautiful bodies. Having some racial specialization doesn't make you a Mary Sue. So again, the argument here is not made in good faith. And on this point of good faith, there's another point I wanted to bring up, which is that a social justice journalist recently admitted that they're just writing these woke pieces because they pay well. And if you think about it, why wouldn't they? Most media is hard-pressed for clicks. It's an oversaturated market, and people don't want their products. But if you can write some intolerable social justice piece, you're sure to get clicks from all around. Clicks from the woke people who want to see themselves as part of a social justice movement fighting sexism. And clicks from the fandom who feels that their position isn't being fairly represented. Which, of course, it isn't. Because if these people did represent our position fairly, they'd be forced to conclude that Rey is a Mary Sue, and that there's no hypocrisy involved in liking Baby Yoda, while thinking that Rey is a poorly written character with no stakes, and really just a mouthpiece for getting browbeaten with a certain political agenda no one asked for. So really, the question is, how long should we go on entertaining these simulated arguments in good faith, when really we know that the journalists writing these pieces are doing so in bad faith? and more or less just because they know the controversy will get clicks.